Nearly everyone loves Gabby Gabby, and I get it. After 3 movies of villains who refuse to change, here comes a doll who actually does. Critics called her Pixar's most sympathetic antagonist. Fan forums ranked her above Lotso, above Stinky Pete, above every bad guy the franchise ever produced. The Hollywood Reporter said it was eventually unfair to dub Gabby Gabby a true villain at all. The filmmakers themselves said she was never really a villain to begin with, just a misunderstood lonely toy who wanted to be loved. That is the story 95% of the world believes, and every piece of it falls apart the second you rewatch the movie, because Gabby Gabby doesn't earn redemption in this movie at all. She earns something far worse. She runs a 6-step operation. She takes a hostage, extracts intelligence from him, weaponizes that intelligence to psychologically dismantle her target, surgically harvests a piece of his anatomy, and then deploys that stolen hardware on a lost child who's too frightened to say no. And the movie rewards her for it. Now, I do need to be clear about something before we go any further, and I'm gonna come back to this point more than once. I'm not arguing that Gabby Gabby is secretly a criminal mastermind sitting in her cabinet rubbing her vinyl hands together. The film never tells us what she's thinking. What I'm arguing is that her behavior, step by step, follows a pattern, and that pattern looks nothing like redemption. Functionally, structurally, based on what she actually does and says on screen. Let me show you.
You can't leave yet. You have what I need right inside there.
Let's start from the beginning, the exact moment Gabby Gabby enters the story. Woody spots Bo Peep's lamp in the window of the Second Chance Antiques. He and Forky squeeze through the mail slot and start searching the store for her, but they don't find Bo. They're about to leave when they hear creaking. A stroller rolls into view. They hide among the vases, but Forky blows their cover. The stroller stops, a dummy turns toward them, and a doll pops up.
My name is Gabby Gabby, and this is my very good friend, Benson.
Friendly, warm, and polite, but watch what happens next. Woody starts explaining his search for a lost toy. He's mid-sentence when something happens the audience likely doesn't catch on first viewing. She doesn't interrupt him. She doesn't even react visibly. She just clucks the hardware, and then, without missing a beat, she changes the subject.
May I ask, when were you made?
Now, this isn't small talk. Woody says late 50s, and Gabby immediately confirms they're the same generation.
Me too! Gee, I wonder if we were made in the same factory. Wouldn't that be something? I gotta say, you are in great condition.
She's confirming hardware compatibility. Same era, same factory, and same type of mechanism. And here's where it escalates. Every time we see the dummies act in this film, they act under Gabby's direction. They never operate independently on screen. Whether Benson was reaching out of curiosity or deliberately positioning Woody, the result is the same. Gabby now has an unobstructed view of his pull string.
And look at that! You have a voice box like me. Benson, show him.
She tells Benson to show Woody. Benson removes Gabby's voice box from her back. She pulls the string. It plays a distorted, broken audio.
I'm Gabby Gabby, and I love you.
Then she explains the problem. Her record is fine, but the mechanism is broken, and she needs to know if Woody's still works. Before Woody can even answer,
Hey, there's a snake in my boot.
Benson pulled Woody's string without his consent or his permission, without even waiting for an answer, and Gabby's response...
Listen to that. Let's see it. I bet it's the same type.
Okay, let me lay out the timeline here. From my name is Gabby Gabby to let's see it, I bet it's the same type, the elapsed time is a single stroller ride. She spotted the hardware, confirmed the manufacturing era, verified compatibility, and requested access, all while pretending to help him find Bo Peep. When Woody declines and tries to redirect back to Bo Peep, the pretense just drops entirely. And when Woody tries to run...
Stop him, please.
4 ventriloquist dummies give chase through the store. Woody barely escapes by activating his own pull string to attract Harmony's attention. During the chase, a dummy grabs Forky from Woody's hands. Woody is left holding nothing but 2 pipe cleaner arms. A skeptic might be saying, well, she's not a predator, she's desperate. She's been stuck in the store for decades with a broken voice box, and I think that's fair. Desperation is real, but desperation doesn't explain the speed of this sequence. Desperate people ask for help. They plead. Gabby didn't plead. She assessed, verified, requested, and when denied, she deployed force, all within minutes of meeting a stranger. And here's the part that matters most for what comes next. As Woody escapes the store, one of the dummies peers out the window, covering Forky's mouth. She has a hostage now, and that hostage is about to become the most dangerous weapon in the entire film. And one quick thing, there's a a hidden number somewhere in this video. If you find it, take it to evidencelocker.xyz, enter your email, and you'll see a classified evidence for next week's investigation. And that number unlocks something the rest of the audience can't see. I will say this, next week's hero has a body count, and it's higher than the villain's. That's all I'm giving you. Now, back to Gabby Gabby. Here's where we need to talk about what Gabby does while Woody is gone. Because while Woody is at the park strategizing with Bo Peep, planning a rescue, Gabby is doing something far more effective than guarding a prisoner. She's gathering intelligence. In the cabinet scene, Gabby is touching up her freckles, and Benson has just finished reattaching Forky's arms.
Look at that. Good as new.
Yeah, thank you, Benson.
She fixed him. She had Benson physically repair the hostage. That's not really the behavior of a captor who sees Forky as disposable leverage. She's investing in him, building rapport and making him comfortable. When Forky asks about Woody coming back, Gabby reassures him.
Like I said, soon. He won't forget about you.
And then she validates Forky's identity.
You have your child's name written on your feet. Sticks. That makes you a very important toy.
Okay, let's think about what she's doing. Forky has spent his entire existence being told he's trash. He literally throws himself into garbage cans over and over. And here's Gabby telling him he's important, telling him his name on his sticks means something. She's the first character in the film who makes Forky feel valued for what he is, not what he should be. She's effectively grooming him. And I want to be careful with that word because I don't mean Gabby is consciously running a manipulation playbook. The film never shows us her internal thought process, but functionally, whether she intends it or not, the pattern is textbook. Fix the damage you caused, offer comfort, validate the captive's identity, and build trust. Then Harmony arrives at the store. Gabby watches her through the cabinet, and Forky notices.
It's tea time.
Yoo-hoo! What is tea time?
Oh, I'll show you.
She pulls out a picture book that came with her original packaging, a book showing a Gabby Gabby doll and a little girl having tea together. She practices the pose, holding the teacup just right. Forky helps her get into position.
A little higher. Stick out your pinky. Nice.
This is a genuinely sweet moment, I'll say that outright. Forky's enthusiasm is real, and watching them practice together is very charming. The film wants you to feel warmth here, and I think it earns it. But then she turns the page to a picture of the girl pulling the doll's pull string, and her hand goes flat against the page.
When my voice box is fixed, I'll finally get my chance.
Remember that line. It becomes the most important thematic statement in the entire film, and we're gonna come back to it at the carnival. Forky puts his pipe cleaner hand on top of hers. One of his pupils droops in sympathy. It's a tender moment. And then...
Now, about our friend Woody. I want to know everything about him.
Watch that transition. She closes the book. She puts him on her lap. She calls Woody our friend, and she asks for everything. This is the pivot. Everything before this was building rapport. Everything after this is extraction, and Forky gives her exactly what she needs.
Yeah, Woody. I've known that guy my whole life. 2 days. Hey, did you know that Bonnie was not his first kid? He had this other kid, Andy. And you know what? I don't think he's ever gotten over him.
Forky just handed Gabby the single most devastating piece of psychological intelligence in the film. Woody's unresolved grief, his first kid, the loss he never processed. And it gets worse. The film cuts away and comes back to them later, Gabby still asking questions.
Woody just sits in the closet with no playtime?
Yeah, he told me himself. He's useless.
That's awful.
She now knows Woody's primary vulnerability. He feels useless and discarded. He's grieving a kid he lost years ago and failing to connect with the one he has now. And Forky just confirmed all of it, in Woody's own words. And this is where it gets much worse. The film cuts away again. Woody's rescue attempt is coming, and when Benson reports that Woody is on his back, Gabby's first move is not to prepare a welcome. Her first move is to prepare a defense.
First, we must prepare for his arrival.
Prepare?
Have you ever played hide and seek?
She teaches Forky to hide. She coaches the hostage to conceal himself from his own rescuer, and she frames it as a game. Forky says scary, and she reassures him through it. This is not a confused woman trying to protect a new friend from a stranger. This is someone who knows Woody is coming to take Forky back, and who is actively engineering countermeasures while keeping the hostage cooperative. The grooming pattern has a fourth stage now. Fix the hostage, comfort comfort the hostage, validate the hostage, and now, when the rescue comes, teach the hostage to hide from it. Now, someone in the comments is definitely going to say, well, she just wanted Woody to agree to the deal before letting Forky go. And maybe, but the film never makes that explicit. What it does show is Gabby deploying hide and seek immediately after being told a rescue is coming. The function of that choice is clear even if the intent is ambiguous. And pay attention to what she does with all of this intelligence, because the next time she sees Woody, she doesn't ask him how he's doing. She doesn't try to understand him. She uses every piece of it to break him. The first rescue attempt fails catastrophically. Bo Peep's sheep get captured. Duke Kaboom crashes. The cat nearly kills them. During the chaos, a mid-air tug-of-war rips Woody's back open, and a Benson dummy immediately makes a grab for the exposed voice box. They don't get it, not this time. The screenplay stage direction is explicit. The back tearing is a tug-of-war. Benson's reach for the voice box is the escalation. Both are in the same stage direction, and that distinction matters because what follows is deliberate, where this was opportunistic. So, Gabby changes tactics. Woody comes back alone, everyone else has left. Bo Peep walked away after their argument. Buzz retreated to the RV because his voice box told him to. Woody is completely isolated. No allies or backup. No one to tell him this is a bad idea. He walks into the store armed with a pencil. Yes, a pencil. Against 4 ventriloquist dummies, and Gabby is waiting for him.
Hello, Woody. I knew you'd be back.
You don't know me.
And then she proves she does.
But I do. You were left in the closet, feeling useless, wondering if you'll ever get played with.
That word, useless, Forky told her that. Those are Woody's own words fed back to him by the hostage he came to rescue. And she opens with them. Woody deflects. I'm not leaving without Forky. He's trying to keep this transactional, but Gabby won't let him.
Can we agree on just one thing?
What?
That being there for a child is the most noble thing a toy can do.
She's establishing moral common ground, framing the conversation on her terms, getting Woody to agree to principles she can weaponize. And Woody, because this principle is the foundation of his entire identity, says,
Okay.
And that okay is the moment she wins, because now everything that follows is framed as an extension of what they both agree is noble. Watch how she deploys the intelligence.
I was defective right out of the box. I can only imagine what it must have been like for you. All that time you spent with Andy,
Riding a bike with him for the first time.
comforting him when he skinned his knee, proudly watching him grow up.
And then you got a second chance with Bonnie, giving her comfort when she's scared at school, helping her when she needs it most. You've been there through all their ups and downs.
Please, be honest with me. Was it as wonderful as it sounds?
Gabby Gabby has never met Andy. She has never watched Woody ride a bike. She has never seen him comfort a skinned knee or observed any of these moments. We know Forky gave her the core ammunition. Andy, the loss, useless. The film cuts away during their conversations, so we don't see everything he told her, but either Forky told her everything and she's reciting his intel back with surgical precision, or he gave her the broad strokes and she filled in the gaps herself, reading Woody's psychology well enough to fabricate specific memories that would hit the hardest. Pick whichever option you want, both are damning. She painted a portrait of everything Woody had and lost, forcing him to relive it in the moment, and then contrasting it with her total deprivation. The guilt is the weapon. You got all of this, I got nothing, and all I need is the thing inside your chest.
All I want is a chance for just one of those moments. I'd give anything to be loved the way you have.
Now, I want to inoculate this argument before someone in the comments does it for me. Is it possible that Gabby genuinely means every word of this? Yes, absolutely. The film never gives us a reason to believe she's lying about wanting to be loved. Her pain could be entirely real. But here's the thing. Genuine pain doesn't justify the method she's using. Wanting something desperately doesn't retroactively make kidnapping, hostage-taking, intelligence extraction, and psychological manipulation into acceptable strategies for getting what you want. And consider the conditions under which Woody agrees. His hostage is still being held. The Bensons are still in the room. The dummies close in after the deal is struck to perform the surgery. This isn't a voluntary donation in a hospital. This is a transaction completed under duress with armed guards standing by. The voice box is removed. We hear it failing mid-phrase as it's pulled from his body. And Gabby's reaction.
Yay!
The mechanism is installed. Her voice box works.
You are my best friend. Let's play all day.
Oh, Benson, did you hear that?
And Gabby's reaction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Listen to his hesitation. That's not a man who just made a generous donation. That's a man who's processing what was just taken from him. She thanks Woody. She is genuinely grateful, and she releases Forky as promised. But before she does, look at the goodbye.
It's time, Benson. Goodbye, Forky.
I'm going to miss our talks.
Me too. Good luck, Gabby.
Thank you, my little utensil.
This is the warmest exchange Gabby has in the entire film, and it's with her hostage. Let me be honest, this moment does complicate this theory. It really does. Forky's affection for Gabby appears genuine, and hers for him might be too. But here's what I think it doesn't change. The warmth of that goodbye doesn't retroactively justify the kidnapping that started it. A captor who grows fond of their captive, and a captive who grows fond of their captor, is not the same thing as a relationship built on free choice. The fondness is real, but the conditions that produced it were not. Keeping a hostage exchange agreement is the behavior of a competent negotiator, not proof of moral transformation. Credit where it's due, she kept her word, but keeping your word after taking a hostage is a low bar for redemption. Then she goes to find Harmony. She positions herself, Harmony picks her up, and the voice box plays.
I'm Gabby Gabby, and I love you.
She puts Gabby back down and walks away. The voice box worked. The hardware was functional. Harmony simply didn't want her. And here is where the entire redemption narrative should live or die. Because if Gabby Gabby actually learned something from this rejection, if the lesson was love can't be engineered through physical perfection, then what she does next should reflect that. But first, we need to sit with the moment the film wants us to feel the most.
Harmony was my chance. My time's over. Please go away.
That line hurts. I won't pretend it doesn't. Gabby's voice cracks. She curls up. She tells Woody to leave. This is a toy who waited decades for one moment, got everything she thought she needed, and watched it fail anyway. The pain here is real. But pain is not the same thing as transformation. Gabby is devastated that her strategy failed. The question is whether she's devastated that her strategy was wrong. And the next thing she says clearly answers that question.
You can have your voice box back. I don't need it anymore.
Parse that sentence out. I don't need it anymore. She's not saying I was wrong to take it. She's not saying I'm sorry for what I put you through. She's saying the asset failed to deliver the expected return. It's a statement about utility, not morality. A thief who offers to return stolen goods because they turned out to be worthless isn't making restitution. They're just cleaning out their house. And across every scene Gabby appears in, she never once says I'm sorry to Woody. Not for the kidnapping or the dummies, not for extracting intelligence from his friend or for the surgery. That's not a small thing. That is the entire foundation a redemption arc is supposed to rest on. So if you're watching this and thinking, this theory is interesting, but you're just being too harsh on a character from a kid's movie, drop a comment and tell me where I'm wrong. What specific evidence from the actual film proves Gabby learned that the voice box wasn't necessary? Because I can't find it. What happens next at the carnival makes it even harder to argue. Woody, now voiceless, convinces Gabby to try again. He tells her about Bonnie. They head to the carnival, and then Gabby spots something.
I think she's lost.
A little girl, lost, scared and crying in the shadows behind the midway. She's separated from her parents. The toys orchestrate the encounter. Bo Peep positions Gabby in the light. Bunny and Duck roll a softball past the girl to guide her attention toward the doll. And the girl walks over and picks Gabby up.
Are you lost too?
I'm Gabby Gabby. Will you be my friend?
I'll help you.
There it is, the voice box, Woody's voice box, the mechanism that was identified in the stroller, verified through non-consensual testing, pursued through violence, secured through hostage leverage and psychological extortion, surgically removed by ventriloquist dummies. That mechanism just activated, and it sealed the bond. Now, notice the phrase with Harmony the voice box played. I'm Gabby Gabby, and I love you. A declaration. With the lost girl, the phrase is different. I'm Gabby Gabby, will you be my friend? A question, an invitation, Pull string toys in this franchise play random phrases per pull. This almost certainly isn't a choice Gabby made, but the filmmakers chose which phrase lands in which scene. And the tonal shift is not accidental. With Harmony, a doll announces love to a confident child who doesn't need it. With The Lost Girl, a doll asks for friendship from a frightened child who does. Whether Gabby selected it or not, the filmmakers did, and the film uses that voice box to seal the bond. Remember what Gabby said in the cabinet, hand flat on the picture book?
When my voice box is fixed, I'll finally get my chance.
She was right. She got her chance, and the working voice box made it happen. The girl takes Gabby to a security guard.
Can't find my mom and dad.
She's reunited with her parents, and she shows them the doll.
I couldn't find you. And then I found this doll. Her name was Gabby Gabby.
The film frames this as the most emotionally triumphant moment in the movie. Music swells, the toys cheer, Woody smiles, Gabby closes her eyes, finally happy. And if you watch the film with music and the animation and the warm lighting, it works. It genuinely works. It hits you right in the feels. But turn off the music and ask a simple question. Could this moment have happened without the stolen voice box? The film never shows us. It never even asks the question. Harmony proves the voice box alone isn't enough. She heard it play perfectly and still walked away. But the film never shows us the other half of that experiment. A child bonding with Gabby without the voice box. Harmony disproves Gabby's thesis that the voice box guarantees love. But the carnival immediately revalidates it by pairing the voice box with a more vulnerable child. The film's actual lesson lands on something far uglier than "you're worthy as you are." It lands on "the voice box works, you just need the right circumstances." Gabby's thesis throughout the entire movie is that a working voice box would make a child love her. Harmony proved her wrong about the guarantee, and then the Lost Girl proved her right about the mechanism. Her original belief was validated. The instrument of the happy ending is the stolen organ. And here's where I want to come back to that disclaimer from the intro. I'm not calling Gabby a conscious predator. I don't think the filmmakers intended any of this. This movie went through extensive rewrites. Gabby Gabby didn't even exist in the original script. The thematic contradictions here probably come from competing story priorities rather than deliberate design. But the film is the film, and the film shows us a character who never apologizes, never demonstrates that she's learned the voice box wasn't necessary, and who ultimately succeeds using the exact strategy she pursued from the very first scene. And there's one more layer to this, and it's the part that bothers me the most. Look at the two children Gabby encounters. Harmony is confident. She's at her grandmother's store. She's comfortable. She makes an independent choice to reject the doll. She picks up Gabby. She looks at her and she says, "Nah." That's a child exercising free will. The Lost Girl is the opposite. She's separated from her parents, scared. She doesn't choose Gabby from a position of strength. She clings to Gabby because she's desperate for comfort. The film treats these two encounters as part of the same arc. Gabby fails with one child, then succeeds with another. But the conditions are completely different. The first child could say no. The second child functionally couldn't. She was too scared and alone and too vulnerable to reject anything that offered warmth. I don't think the Lost Girl is being harmed or anything. Gabby provides genuine comfort to her in that moment. The child finds her parents, everyone is safe, but the structural irony is inescapable. The first time Gabby tries to secure a child, she encounters one who has the freedom to reject her and gets rejected. The second time, she encounters one who doesn't have that freedom and succeeds. Now, compare this to Lotso from Toy Story 3. The franchise gives Lotso a definitive moral test. At the incinerator, he has the chance to push the emergency stop button and save Woody and the others. He chooses not to. He could sacrifice something at cost to himself, and he refuses. That's why the franchise condemns him. That's why he ends up strapped to the front of a garbage truck. The message is clear. You had a chance to give, and you chose to take. Gabby never faces an equivalent test. She's never given a moment where she could sacrifice something for someone else at cost to herself. Her entire arc is about her receiving the voice box, Forky's intel, receiving Harmony's attention, receiving the Lost Girl's affection. The franchise punished Lotso for refusing to give, but it rewarded Gabby without ever asking her to. And the infrastructure never changes. Benson pushes the carriage that gets Gabby to the carnival. He's left behind when the carriage tips over. The other dummies don't appear to make the trip at all. Whether that reads as loyalty or leftover infrastructure is debatable, but Gabby never renounces them. She never says, "I was wrong to use you that way." She just moves on. John Negroni offered a compelling counterinterpretation that I think is worth sitting with. The voice box as a hearing aid, a prosthetic for self-expression rather than stolen property. The argument is that framing the transplant as theft misses a disability metaphor the film is running. I respect that take. It adds genuine depth to the conversation, particularly about what the film is doing with defectiveness as an identity. But the film ultimately works against it for two reasons. First, the voice box isn't presented as Gabby's by default. It's presented as Woody's. It's in his body, coded as his mechanism, and the film never frames its removal as returning something to its rightful owner. Second, and more importantly, even if you grant the prosthetic framing fully, the method is still the problem. If someone steals a wheelchair because they need it more than its owner, the need is real and the theft is still theft. The hearing aid argument reframes what was taken. It doesn't address how. So, what's the final tally? Gabby Gabby identified a compatible hardware target within minutes of meeting him. She deployed enforcers when he refused. She took a hostage. She groomed that hostage into an intelligence asset. She taught that hostage to hide from his rescuer. She extracted Woody's deepest psychological vulnerabilities through a 2-day-old spork. She then weaponized that intelligence to emotionally extort Woody into surrendering a piece of his anatomy. She never apologized for any of it. And when her first deployment failed, Woody convinced her to try again on a more vulnerable target using the same stolen hardware that sealed the bond. The film wants you to believe this is a redemption, and its own evidence calls it a successful operation. I'm not saying Gabby Gabby is deliberately evil. I'm saying the film never proves she's really good, and there's a canyon between those two things that the movie never bothers to cross. It just plays the music louder and hopes you don't notice. And if you want to watch my entire Toy Story Theory series up until this point, click right here, because I go over all 3 of the other films before this one, and I gotta tell you, some of you had some really great feedback in the comments. Thank you for all of that, and keep them coming down below. Let's debate, let's talk about this. I love the back and forth.